how about the heavyweight champion? And also, we have to talk about the placement of the card. Is Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage the main event, or is it Anarchy in the Ring or the Arena? Is that the main event?
Anarchy.
I don't know.
I think the only times they've kind of wandered away from not having the World Championship be the main event of their pay-per-views, either A, the World Championship wasn't featured like at All Out last year, or for Anarchy in the Arena. So Anarchy in the Arena is kind of one of their big signature things. It is the main focus storyline that they're telling. So I think Anarchy in the Arena closes the show.
Completely agree.
I think it's pretty clear that Swerve Strickland's just another guy. He's in the same position he was. Only difference is he has a championship. So once again, he starts off hour 2 in a match against Nick Wayne. And yes, afterwards it was amazing to look outside and see that whole thing with Christian Cage. That was great. But that was not toward the back end of the show. Like the
not pulling up with the coffee. Like, it was great. Like, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the segment. Like, Nana pulling out the save, because there were questions of, well, we haven't really seen Nana since he got beaten down. He wasn't around when the Mogul Embassy, which he helped form, turned their back on. So was he a part of that? Is he still aligning with Swerve? Obviously still aligning with Swerve. But, I mean, I saw Bully Ray make the case on Busted Open. I saw those clips on social media of Christian Cage walks away the world heavyweight champion here in AEW. Like, is that a more compelling storyline right now than Swerve Strickland?
Well, this is the way he's been booked. How is that starting hour 2? How's that on the back of the show? We get Satnam Singh and Bryan Danielson at the back end as a match. I mean, it's just like what he is, Gabe. Brian, he's just another guy, unfortunately, the way he's been booked from the beginning. Everyone wants Swerve to be champion, and then look at where he's been. When he gets the championship, he doesn't get a chance to speak. He's just thrown in a match in Jacksonville. What is that?
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing. I was excited about where this could go because of Christian's mic work. The more disappointing thing is the announcement last night that next week on Dynamite, we get the Casino Gauntlet match to determine the next challenger. So it's not even going to be a story there where you're like, hey, I want to get a title. It's like, oh, no, they won this match. They get it. So, like, they seem to just be going down that path again with the next challenger for him.
I don't like it. I just don't like it.
I agree.
He's your heavyweight champion, and is he just booked like I feel like he's in the same spot he was before. And I just, like, he's going to get past Christian, yes, but he's your champion. You have to empower him. You have to put him on a pedestal. You know, and these 50-50 matches, you can't wrestle that way also, Gabe. You cannot have your champion in there going halfway in a match. Either he's going to have to come from behind where he's getting beat down, but this 50-50 and he's a world champion, you don't see Cody doing that. You don't see some of their champions doing that.
You have 4 opportunities with Dynamite and Collision to kind of feature him, right? The opening of the show and the closing of the show. And he wasn't. Like you said, he started hour 2. It's probably the 3rd best position you want to be in, right? Just opening up hour 2. But it's the 3rd. Like, on Dynamite last night, it was the 3rd. And the same thing, Samoa Joe fell to the same thing. And they've kind of, and really MJF before that, they've been in a rut. And I don't want to make this seem like we're completely bashing on AEW, because they have told some other meaningful stories. They just haven't done it with their AEW championship. And again, this goes back to MJF, when somehow the ROH tag titles were getting more of a shine than the AEW championship. Like, that's a thing that happened, right? I'm not crazy. Like, that's an actual thing that happened. Your secondary tag team titles were featured more than the prize that you want to have in your company.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and they just haven't pulled themselves out of that funk with the AEW World Championship. Now, they have, again, there are compelling stories up and down this card. We talked about it last week. They didn't need to add to it this week with Mercedes Moné and Willow. Like, okay, we sold that last week. I'm already all in. I like what they've done with Orange Cassidy and Trent. I like what they've done with Roddy Strong taking on Will Ospreay. And then, by the way, there's a little bit of intrigue there with Orange Cassidy. And is he aligned with Don Callis? Is Don Callis going to stab him in the back? What's going to go on here? So they've done some good things elsewhere. They just haven't done it around their world championship, which is disappointing, because their world championship is supposed to be this thing that's really held up on a pedestal, and it just hasn't lived up to that in the last 18 months.